Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and what we have for you today is the review of this Thomson 43-inch TV priced less than 20,000 rupees, 19,000 rupees to be precise, and it is powered by the new Jio Tele OS. Now, Jio Tele OS has been a part of the Jio set-top box for quite some time now, but we have it running natively on a smart TV, just like we have Google TV, or we have, Xiaomi's PatchWall UI, or even we have something like Tizen or WebOS on Samsung and LG respectively. So this is kind of a new OS entry in the market, but it brings a lot of features that I think will appeal to the masses. Now, this Jio Tele OS is based on Android. You can make that out the minute you boot up the TV. So let's answer two very important questions in the course of this review. The first one is, who is this TV for? And number two is, how well does it perform? So to answer the first question, this TV is purely for the masses. You look at the price point, which is under 20,000 rupees. You have a lot of 43-inch TVs under 20,000 rupees, and some of them are kind of okay. I mean, you need to touch the 25,000 rupee price point to get a decent 43-inch TV with some very good picture quality. So it is targeting an audience that has a very limited budget when it comes to spending capacity. Secondly, with the OS that it brings, Jio is giving a lot of things for free. This TV comes with 400 free channels, something we're going to talk about when we come to talking about the OS. So yes, this is a very budget-friendly TV, and for the price that you're paying, it is actually really very good. So let's address the elephant in the room, which is the Jio Tele OS. Now, straight off the bat, I'm going to get rid of the two cons that I have with this TV. Number one is that the voice recognition did not work very well for me. It was a hit or miss, and that's okay. Maybe these things can be improved with software updates in the future. And the second thing is that the UI at times can get really buggy. So that is again something that can be taken care of with future updates. Now, let me tell you about this OS, okay? The opening of the UI is very much like a Google TV UI. You have the top bar, which has your home, your TV shows, movies, sports, the live free channels. You have a carousel of cards that gives you access to, popular stuff that's happening. You have a row of content recommendations. You have a row of apps. It is very user-friendly and easy to use to navigate. The specific tabs in the top, especially for sports and live TV, are two that will appeal to the masses in India, because at least during the course of me testing out this TV, in the sports section, it was full of cricket. Like, it was cricket, kabaddi, and maybe a few other sports. I guess the recommendations will be based on the activities that are happening, but it's the live channels that really caught my attention. I mean, you actually have a set-top box-like experience when it comes to the channels, when it comes to the information about the channels, when it comes to information about programming that is going to be available on those channels. So the free channels, there are 400 plus of them. It is very targeted at regional content, at local content. You do have some channels for movies, you have stuff for news, you have stuff for sports. It's just insane. Like, if you buy this TV and you do not have a subscription service to any of the popular OTT platforms, just keeping YouTube and these 400 channels, you would be sorted for stuff to watch, especially if you are buying this TV for, let's say, your parents or grandparents who only watch specific type of content. So even though the UI is a little buggy, that's something that can be fixed. For the TG that this TV is targeted at, it is a fantastic value for money proposition. Now, let's move on to the other aspects of the TV, which is how the picture performs and how it is for gaming. So let's first start with the picture performance. Now, I saw a slew of content on Netflix. Yes, this TV has Netflix, it has Prime Video, it has YouTube, it has Sony Live, it has all the popular streaming apps except for Apple TV. And if you want Apple TV, you might have to sideload it, because it wasn't there on the Jio App Store, which is there on this TV. I also couldn't find VLC on the Jio App Store, which is a bit of a bummer, because if you have content on the pen drive, it is just easy to plug it into a USB port and use VLC as a media streamer. It's a great app, especially on TVs that are powered by the Google TV UI. So those are the only two apps that for a user like me were missing, and that's okay, because the masses are actually not going to care about both of these apps. When you consume content, be it from Netflix or Prime Videos, you do have HDR support on this TV, but the HDR support is okay. I mean, you wouldn't know it's there. The peak brightness isn't there. The TV doesn't really have the contrast ratio or any dimming zones, of course, considering the price point, but the picture performance of the TV for the price is actually very good. I mean, I saw my standard slew of test content, right? You have Mission Impossible, which is this great chase sequence where you have Tom Cruise chasing these motorcycles, and the skin tones out here can tend to look slightly more yellow if the TV is not that great, but that wasn't the case out here. The performance of the TV when it came to picture quality was actually very good. It has a standard set of presets, it has standard, user, vivid, energy saver and soft. There is no real cinema preset, and I found that, choosing the standard preset or the soft preset worked best based on the type of content you're watching. So for example, if you're watching a show like Young Sheldon, for example, which is a good representation of any TV show that anyone would watch, the skin tones look nice, the picture looks vivid. You can put it in vivid if you want punchier colors, but I think standard was good enough. But if you are going to watch movies, let's say, or if you are going to watch something that needs to look a little more cinematic, you can check out the soft preset. And if you think the soft preset is too dark, you can actually go into the settings, pump up the backlight. Yes, the backlight and brightness are different on this TV, which is a very good thing to have. You can pump up the backlight to 100%, and you can also go to the color temperature and switch it to warm to kind of have the best experience, especially when you're watching movies. So that is very, very good. So the content consumption experience, be it on YouTube or any OTT app, is actually very good. What is okay on this TV is the gaming performance. Now, I did connect my PS5 and Xbox Series X, and there is no game mode, no auto low latency mode. In fact, when I connected my PS5, I did get the pop-up saying that ALLM, which is auto low latency mode, is not supported. And the latency is something that you can feel a little more on this TV than others, and that's okay. I mean, this TV isn't targeted at gamers. And even if you're someone that has this TV and plays games, chances are you are not playing competitive esports, because if you are, then you're going to be looking at a monitor or another TV. But for casual gaming, right, I played stuff like Spider-Man, for example. The colors in Spider-Man's outfit looked really punchy on this TV. The environments were good, and I could even get through a few fights in the game without actually having a problem with the input lag, right? Same for Ratchet and Clank, where I play this level where you have a lot of enemies coming running at you. It was smooth and enjoyable enough. Dirt 5 is a game that I had a problem with, and I recommend that if you are going to game on this TV, you switch off HDR, because Dirt 5 is a great game that's mastered in 8GIG. So when you connect a PS5 to an HDR enabled TV, it asks you to increase the brightness and decrease it based on that little sun icon on screen. That's to calibrate the console and TV's HDR capabilities. This is something that only works well in high-end TVs, because in lower-end TVs, the communication between the console and the TV is not correct. The TV tells the console that it has a higher peak brightness than it actually does. And if you play games like Dirt 5, which is mastered in 8GIG, then you can see that the games look slightly burnt. On the Xbox side of things, I played Gears 5, which is again another great action game, and some of the dark sequences in this game looked very nice on this TV. And I also played Doom Eternal. Now, Doom Eternal is actually one of those really, really, really fast-paced games, and on this TV, Doom Eternal is a game where you will notice the input lag, simply because of how responsive that game is and how fast the action is. So yes, if you're going to play some casual games, some single player games, some slightly slower paced games, then you can enjoy it on this TV. But a game like Doom Eternal, I really felt that input lag on this TV. When it comes to the sound output, the TV is okay for watching TV shows, maybe watching a few movies, but it can get tinny at higher volumes. The TV does get very loud. So I kept it at about 30-35% volume for most of my content consumption, and it got the job done. The dialogues were clear. I could watch some news, some basic TV shows. I even enjoyed a movie, but for the price point, the speakers are just okay. It has 3 HDMI ports, one of which is ARC enabled, so you can connect it to a soundbar or an audio setup if you have. It has 3.5mm as well as optical. And of course, it has AV in as well. So if you need to connect an external device for your audio needs, you can do that as well. So overall, I think I've actually summed up this review in the beginning, is that this is a great TV under 20,000 rupees, especially when you consider the package on offer. It has the Jio Tele OS, which is kind of made in India for India, giving users access to 400 plus free channels and the manufacturers of this TV in India say that is just going to grow. The number of free channels are just going to keep growing, which is great. We also have access to all popular OTT apps on this TV. The UI is fairly decent with a few bugs here and there, which can be ironed out. The only funny thing for me is the remote control, because it is small, it's compact, it has all the essential buttons, but it has dedicated buttons for Jio Cinema and Disney Plus Hotstar, which is kind of funny because when you press the Jio button, it just says invalid input, because as of me making this video, it was fairly recent that Jio and Hotstar have merged. I'm guessing this TV went into production before that, so it's just one of those funny things. I'm pretty sure the next lot of these TVs which are manufactured are probably just going to get rid of one of those two buttons and just replace it with Jio Hotstar, but it's just a funny quirk that's there. So yeah, I don't often say this, but it's a banger of a TV under 20k where you can ignore the cons. And if you're someone that's ready to migrate from the JioOS and you're looking to have a different UI, you can always pick up a Fire TV stick, or if you have a gaming console or anything else, you can just connect it to either connectivity options. It is better. It is a better solution than some of the subscription-based TVs that made their debut in India recently, at least in my opinion. So there you have it, guys. Those were my thoughts on this Thomson Jio Tele OS powered TV. As always, you can let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. And for more from the world of technology and home entertainment, you can subscribe to the channel. I will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.